Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to today's Friday review, episode 1723 of the Cabral Concept. Excited that you could join me here today. Our Friday reviews are absolutely some of my favorite shows to go through, basically detailing what's been going on in our private practice over at the Global Functional Medicine-based center, now called EqualLife. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Of course, I'll be bringing you my favorite product review of the week. So many product reviews count up. Also have my new book review, not my personal new book review, but the book review of the week, where I like to bring you all sorts of different authors and experts in their particular area and share their information with you and hopefully with the world. And then we will be going through 2 new research studies that I do hope that you know about, of course, that you use them in your life when appropriate and share those with others as well. So let's dive right into today's show. The first update I want to bring you, and just do make sure that you know that our Equilibrium Nutrition, our baby basically from 3 years ago, 4 years ago, depending on when you're really counting the birth of that global health-based practice, has transitioned now to its new form, right? It's gone from this caterpillar to hopefully now a nice little butterfly that's able to touch people all around the world. And of course, metaphorically speaking, what we've done is we've gone from being able to share with people the exact protocols that I've used in my practice now for well over a decade, and the at-home functional medicine lab test that we know how to be able to assess people for why they're not able to lose the weight, why they're not able to get well, why they feel they're aging at a rapid rate. So we are able to figure those things out. And then it comes with a consultation with one of my certified integrative health practitioner health coaches. It comes with a plan that's tailored to you. So it's not just about getting a lab test. I know there's a lot of sites popping up, a lot of marketing sites out there popping up with these labs. But the problem is they don't detail, they don't educate you on what your results mean, especially if they're a little bit out of range. Like, okay, here's the thing. A lab test could be way out of range. It could be just a little bit out of range, or it could be almost getting there to being out of range, and you want to be able to work on those things before you enter in a dis-ease state. So we teach you what your numbers mean, what they mean in relation to each other, and then of course, how to take that information and actually act on it. So we've been doing that now for a lot of years over at equilibriumnutrition.com. Previous to that was my Boston private practice. And again, I've been trying to teach these things every day on the podcast as well. But now with EqualLife, which is the new birth of our company, we want to be able to take it to a much deeper and much higher level in terms of how we are teaching, how we're educating people. So really be on the lookout for that. All sorts of downloadable-based, usable-based, action-based products that you can look at. I don't like to call them PDFs. Yes, they're in PDF format, but it's really, okay, this is what you do for your immune system. This is what you do to get well. So we're really breaking it down. And then next week, you'll see our brand new product pages debut. And that means, okay, this is me taking you through a product on video. Here's what it looks like. Here's how to use the product. Here's why we formulated it. Here's how to use it. So it's like, it's really taking that to the next level to be able to explain how to use these products that we know work so well, but actually in your life and maximizing that to the greatest level possible. And of course, if you don't want to use the EqualLife brand, that's always okay. But my goal is to educate you on why these things work, what herbs work, which vitamins work, and also how to use those specifically. Other factors that will play into this as well is all sorts of different articles and content that will be updated weekly at EqualLife. And to get to EqualLife, it's just equa.life, EQUI.LIFE. So much more to come. This is just the beginning, but I wanted to make sure that you're over there, that you're checking out the website, that you've subscribed to the newsletter, because that's where you're going to get all the tips. I can't possibly take you through all the tips every single week, but also at cabralsupportgroup.com, about 10,000 members strong now. Absolutely amazing. I mean, literally, it's just answering your questions. Our coaches are answering. The health community is answering. 10,000 people from around the world. We've never advertised that Facebook private page, but it's really just about our community. So it's pretty fantastic. So check that out. Again, cabralsupportgroup.com for everyday things going on. And then, of course, the EquaLife newsletter at equa.life. All right, next up, equally as exciting, but part of our October Next Level Learning Month is me sharing with you exactly what's going on over at the new StephenCabral.com site. That site will be getting a makeover for the rest of 2020 into 2021. So it's always going to be about education with me. I mean, I really consider myself a teacher first. The people that I work with, our clients means in the care of. It's basically caring for others at the deepest level possible. You have to understand the reason why I'm doing this today is simply that someone else did it for me previous. And so I hope to be able to help you as your mentor or guide maybe. And then of course, especially if you become an IHP coach, then you're going to be able to do it for someone else. And so that's really what we want. That's what all this is about. If I put things on video now, if I put them in books, I do hope that they last many more lifetimes beyond my own, and that I could pass that on to future generations, just like it was passed on to me. So that's what this is all about. And with that, we have these brand new accelerators coming out. The first one is going to be all about thyroid rebalancing, meaning like if you've ever wanted to know how to heal the thyroid from the inside out, I'm going to share all of that with you. Literally, how it happens, what goes wrong, why it goes wrong, what's missing, what you have too much of, and then the plan to fix that. So I'm going to take what would easily be years of research, because I've already done it, and then I'm going to condense that into less than 1 day course. So it's going to be probably about 4 hours to 5 hours of video teaching you everything that you need to know. It's great for health practitioners, but it's really meant for everyday people that you can follow along, that you can implement. And I know that it's going to be the answer that people are searching for. I really believe this, and it's done in a time frame that you can do. Meaning like, yes, you'll have 365-day access to these accelerators, but really it's going to save you from reading a dozen books, going to half dozen different practitioners, and really trying to figure out the answer for you. I'm going to give you the different levels that you can follow. So you can start at level 1, you can advance to level 2, advance to level 3, whatever you need for your body, because not everybody will need level 3. So why not start with level 1? So I teach all of those things to you: thyroid healing diet, the right exercise program for thyroid, stress reduction, how the HPA axis affects the HPT axis for thyroid. I talk about specific toxin removal, why certain heavy metals and certain other things within the body, especially food sensitivities, can affect the thyroid. And it really empowers you. That's what these things are all about. I'm super excited about it. I've never seen it done in this industry before, but that's what it's all about. So it's about working hard, breaking new ground. It's not just me. I mean, I have an amazing team, and we push every single day to do things that have just never been done before. But I do believe that it's going to be able to serve the greatest number of people possible. So check those out. You can just head over to StephenCabral.com/courses, and you'll be able to see all these brand new accelerators coming out. So very, very excited about that. First one is thyroid. Second one's going to be female hormone balancing. And actually, I'm going to go down the line with healthy cholesterol, blood pressure, immunity, children's health, pregnancy, blood sugar, you name it. I'm gonna tackle all the hard topics so that people, no matter what, will be able to find a very a fairly priced, very inexpensive way to be able to learn everything they need to, like less than it would cost for a 1 hour with myself or really one of our health coaching team members, which by the way is absolutely worth it. Like absolutely worth it that you get a coach to do along with this. But I just want to make sure that the people that can't afford that they have an option as well. So that just, again, I want to be able to help people at every level possible. I do believe that everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs a mentor. Everybody needs a doctor or whatever it might be, like for your health. You do need that. So I'm not saying not to do that. In an ideal world, everyone would have their MD and they would also have an ND or an integrative health practitioner on their side. So that's what I believe the best of both worlds is. And then of course, educating yourself too, because no matter what, like even if, let's say you work with me, you work with one of my health coaches, they might meet with you 1 hour a month, but you're with yourself every day. So you need to be educating yourself too along with the process. You want to help yourself, empower yourself. Your coach will tweak your program for you. That's why the coach or the doctor is so important. So again, I could go on and on about this, but I already have. So now let me move on to our next topic. All right, let's make sure that I've covered everything that my team wants me to as well. All right, we're good there. So the first product review, the first thing I want to bring you today, a lot of people ask me, what do you use to track your blood sugar? And I say, really simply, it's this. I use a glucometer. And my glucometer, you've seen it a million times. I've talked about it a million times. All it is a little finger stick. I put a drop of blood on a little cartridge, and it tells me what my blood sugar is whenever I'm doing a new diet. Now, keep in mind, I don't track this all the time because my diet's very straightforward. And you can check out a previous podcast of mine for what I eat in a typical day. And so I already know what my blood sugar is. I know if it goes up directly after a meal, which it will, it'll be back down within about 90 minutes, 2 hours. And then I have a fast between my meals. I eat 3 times a day, except on Mondays where I do my 24-hour fast. And again, life is good. Like that's what it should be. But I have experimented. And so again, that's what I recommend for you as well, making sure that your blood sugar is controlled, especially your fasting glucose. When you wake up in the morning, it's the most important time to test your blood sugar because it should be down at that time. You haven't eaten for 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. And you really want to make sure that your blood sugar is less than a 95, ideally less than a 90. All right. And you don't need to know what that means. You just take a stick of blood, pop it on that little, basically it's a little plastic card, and it goes into the glucometer and it just measures your blood sugar. So here's the thing. I'll link it up today. Head over to stevencabral.com/1723. $20-$30 is about all that costs, and it's absolutely worth it. They all come with at least 10 of the typically 10 lancets and 10 of the, I don't know why I'm not remembering what the card, the little insert is called right now. They put the drop of blood on it, and it's literally just 1 drop of blood. So I just did another review for a glucometer that I love with the adjustable lancet because you could just do a tiny finger prick because all you need is a tiny drop of blood. So again, head over to, today is 1722. I apologize. Head over to stevencabral.com/1722, stevencabral.com/1722 for all of today's links. All right. But what do I use when I want to get more into my biohacking, right? More into what does my blood sugar look like over the course of a day? And you can keep this thing on for, weeks at a time. So what I use and what I have used and continue to use is the Dexcom device, okay? So people ask me again all the time, back in the day, you needed to have a doctor, typically a doctor has to sign off on this, right? Cover it by your health insurance. If not, I think it's around $500 or so. But what Dexcom is trying to do is use their internal now health team to be able to allow you to purchase it on your own if you want, or try to submit it through health insurance. Now, typically you'd have to be diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetic in order to get a continuous glucose monitor. But at the same time, you might be able to just pay for it on your own if you're so inclined. So what are the benefits of a continuous glucose monitor? Again, you just peel, this is a new one, you just peel this off and you can stick it right to your abdomen. You can stick it on the back of your tricep. Those are 2 of the more popular places to put it. I actually prefer it on the abdomen, but most people put it on the back of their arm, their tricep. So it's whatever works best for you. I just find if I keep it right to where the oblique is, right on your side, it's pretty easy to keep there, and I never really know it's there. So basically, we have a device that is inserted, a little tiny insert, to be able to track your glucose in the blood. So it's just checking your blood at all times. It sends it to a receiver, and then it actually just goes to your smartphone. And if I swipe mine up, you'll be able to see my Dexcom receiver right up there in the top right. And that will then tell me what my blood sugar is at any given moment in time without me having to do finger sticks whenever I want. Plus, at the end of the day, I can actually look at, where were my peaks? Like, where were my spikes in blood sugar? Oh, okay, it wasn't after breakfast, but it was after lunch, or it was when I had that drink at night. Like, whatever it might be, it's going to show you. And it will also show you why you had a spike, even if you weren't eating any food. Remember, I basically, I don't want to say I broke the internet, but people were so shocked when I started sharing 4 years ago or so, that you could have a cup of black coffee or you could have caffeine in the morning with no sugar and you get a big spike of blood sugar. Like, how can that be? You drank caffeine and you got a spike of blood sugar. Well, again, you can go back and you can check out my videos on if coffee breaks a fast and does it for some people or does it not, right? It's bio-individual. For some people it may and others it doesn't. But also, again, your workout can spike your blood sugar. And I didn't know this until 4 or 5 years ago when I was working with a really amazing client. And we found that certain types of exercise, high intensity interval training specifically, spiked his blood sugar. And he was a diabetic. Again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do high intensity interval training, but it was not working for him. And so we actually started to make it more aerobic based. Yes, we still lifted weights, but we just watched the parameters for his blood sugar, and we got tremendous results, like really being able to work on insulin sensitivity, etc. So anyway, what this does is it shows you how exercise affects you, sauna affects you. Do you go too low in blood sugar? Is that why you're feeling tired? So again, a continuous glucose monitor takes kind of that biohacking to the next level. Instead of doing the finger pricks will always tell you what your blood sugar is. But if you want to continuously monitor it over a couple days or over a couple weeks, especially when you're looking at your current routine versus doing anything new, like adding one new variable, it will show you that. So I will link up the Dexcom G6, which is what I use. So if you want to check out the Dexcom G6, you can certainly head on over to stephencabral.com/1722. And of course, I would really always go to stephencabral.com/resources, because in the future, if there's a better device, I'm going to link to the better device. Like, I'm not just going to link to Dexcom G6 right now. Today I will, because it's the best, but let's say a year from now, there's a better company or better device that came out. I'll link to that as well. So hopefully that's helpful. All right, my book review of the week is from Dr. James Odell. Dr. James Odell is the executive director of a naturopathic doctor, natural medical doctor, and licensed acupuncturist. Will be on the Cabral Concept, Conversations with Cabral, in the next coming months. Executive director of the Bioregulatory Medicine Institute here over in the US, where I sit on the advisory board for them. It's a tremendous organization of really brilliant minds over there. The people that they've assembled over there, I'm really excited about the team. Just such smart people in all sorts of different fields, whether it be naturopathy, energy medicine, bioregulatory medicine, dietetics, etc. Phenomenal. Well, Dr. James Odell, not too long ago, 6 months ago, 10 months ago, came out with a new book. And when I talk about the books that he writes, they are some well-documented. I don't think you won't find a more well-documented and thorough book on this, on breast cancer, The Rest of the Story, it's called. So here's why I like this book, because it's not just about breast cancer. It's actually about how the body functions, how it detoxes, how bioregulatory medicine can help, how all of these things basically how the body becomes sick and unwell and can lead to cancer, and then how to potentially get well as well. Now, again, we have to say that this is not to diagnose, it's not to cure cancer, it's not to treat cancer, but it is a phenomenal 800-page ebook. It's not, so ebook makes it sound like it's one of those cheap giveaways. It is a electronic digital book as a PDF. And the reason is it's 800 pages. It's a massive document. But here's the other reason why he did it, which I think is brilliant. You can click on whatever you want in the table of contents, and it just takes you to that section. So for example, for me, and again, it's not that I didn't care about the prefactors leading up to it. I actually jumped right to chapter 6. Like, I really wanted to get right into potential hydrogen, basically pH, cellular dynamics, the basically electric energy within the body based on pH. And so I was really just geeking out with that. And so anyway, I'm going to link it up here today. You can get your copy. Obviously, you can read it on your phone. You can read it on your tablet, read it on your computer. You could print out 800 pages if you so choose to, but really a great book. And again, that is called Breast Cancer, The Rest of the Story. Goes through conventional medicine treatments, naturopathic treatments, bioregulatory treatments, talks about the 6 phases of disease that I spoke about before with homotoxicology. Hopefully you've checked out that show before. That's such an important show. Okay, if you haven't checked it out before, head on over to stephencabral.com/1722. And I'm actually going to link up that episode, because you need to check out, if you don't know about bioregulatory medicine and you don't know about homotoxicology, you need to understand disease pathology, because in conventional medicine, there's only 2 stages. But in Ayurveda, I even compared it to Ayurveda and bioregulatory medicine. Bioregulatory medicine is more Western European. Ayurvedic medicine, of course, originating in India, typically associated with Kerala. But they have the same phases. I mean, that's the amazing thing. So that's why I love studying an integrative approach to health, because so many forms of medicine have the answer you've been searching for. So that's what I hope to teach you, of course, in IHP, on the Cabral Concept podcast every day, and in the new accelerators, which are topic specific. Okay, now we're moving on to the research for the week. The research for the week, and I've got this all over my desk. So let me move a couple papers here. Again, the podcast is now on video. You can watch it over on today's show notes page, which is always just the number of the podcast. We keep things really easy here. We don't really care about search engine optimization or any of those things. You can just head over to stephencabral.com/1722. You can see the Dexcom link, the breast cancer book link, and you can find the podcast on homotoxicology, and you'll find these 2 research studies, okay? But of course, on YouTube as well, you can follow along with the videos. Now, first things first. I want to bring you this study. It's called Prolonged Noise Increases Risk for Stroke and Heart Attack. You might say, that's really strange. Just noise can increase risk for stroke and heart attack? Well, let's check it out. This is by Dr. Seth Goldberg, electrophysiologist at New York Hospital, New York City, and it was written in Prevention. Okay, so ongoing and lengthy exposure to everyday noises such as cell phone rings or traffic, increased heart rate, and decreased heart rate variability. 2 risk factors for cardiac problems. Self-defense. Take deep breaths to ease your body's response to noise, blocking out loud noises with sound-blocking headphones or white noise. Well, okay, here's what it says. Increases heart rate, decreases heart rate variability. Hopefully you checked out my Conversations with Cabral interview with Dr. Jay Wiles. So we talk about heart rate variability. Now, what would increase heart rate and decrease heart rate variability at the same time? There's one thing, it's called sympathetic nervous system dominance. That is when the autonomic nervous system gets signals through what's called the central nervous system that gets signals through the peripheral nervous system, which is these receptors, ears, eyes, nose, smell, taste, all of those different things. And you say, oh, like I'm again, in the city, in Boston, cars are going by, noises, lots of people. We don't think about it, but all of those things can actually increase sympathetic nervous system dominance. When you increase sympathetic nervous system dominance, what else happens? Well, you start to produce more adrenaline, norepinephrine, cortisol. All of those things can also lead to then unchecked inflammation, increased blood pressure, hardening of the arteries over time, etc. So again, all of these things matter, but what does it goes back to? It goes back to you feeling a sense of calm. Believe it or not, it's so thoroughly important. And you can also check out my interview with Patrick McEwen about breathing and the proper way to breathe to calm sympathetic nervous system dominance. It's so important. It really, really is. All right. So I'm going to link that out for more information, but just understand again, stress and noise stress is also an issue. Okay. Next one. For all those people out there who still don't believe in toxicity, let's give you another study. All right, cleaning products linked to childhood asthma. Infants from birth to age 3 months living in homes where household cleaners were used with high frequency were more likely than other children to develop asthma by the time they were 3 years old. The relationship between cleaning product exposure and respiratory problems was much stronger in girls than boys for unknown reasons. The household studied used 26 different types of cleaners, including dusting sprays, antimicrobials, hand sanitizers, disinfectants, polishes, and air fresheners, right? All these synthetic chemicals and toxins that we talk about removing from the home, right? Get them out of the home. Use an essential oil diffuser if you want. Use natural cleaning sprays that I've talked about before that might contain a little bit of vinegar or citrus oil or lavender essential oil. All of these things work much better and they're much safer. This is by Dr. Takaro, Professor of Health Sciences at Simon Fraser University in British Columbia, Canada, and the leader of the study published in Canadian Medical Association Journal. I will link it up. Just remember, toxins are a real thing. Please don't listen to the media. Don't listen to uninformed health professionals telling you not to worry, your liver will just take care of everything. That's not how it works. So keep doing your detoxing, keep doing your intermittent fasting, keep doing your quarterly longer functional medicine detoxes, care for your body. It will carry you well then through life. All right, take care, everyone. Thank you so much. Tune in tomorrow for the Cabral House Calls, where we'll be answering our community's questions each and every weekend. Have an amazing weekend. I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stevencabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.